Former President Mandela arrives in Houghton and over 4 million tax returns filed for the 2010-2011 tax season. With the news this hour, I'm Ayanda Gunene. Former President Nelson Mandela has arrived at his Houghton home in the north of Johannesburg. The roads around Madiba's house, which police had earlier closed off to traffic, have now been reopened. Earlier today, Madiba was taken in a road convoy from his rural home of Iqunu to Umtata Airport in the Eastern Cape and was then flown to Gauteng. The presidency has said the move was due to maintenance work being done at his home in Iqunu. It's not clear how long Madiba will stay in Johannesburg. Houghton officials have described as an embarrassment the recent attacks on businesses owned by foreign nationals in townships. Last week, a shop belonging to a Pakistani national was torched in Thokoza on Gauteng's East Rand, injuring the owner. The Provincial Economic Development Department's Mandela Sindhu says they condemn such attacks.
The Houghton Economic Development condemns the ongoing attacks on businesses owned by foreign nationals. The MEC Qedani Mahlangu views this as an embarrassment to the country as it hampers the entrepreneurship spirit and job creation. The MEC urges communities to cooperate with the police to identify those responsible for this act, that they should be tracked down and brought to justice.
The SA Revenue Services says over 4 million tax returns have been filed for the 2010-2011 tax season, the highest number in the country's history. SARS spokesperson Adrian Lackey says the returns were filed by individuals, trusts and provisional taxpayers. Lackey says at the corresponding time of the 2010 tax season, SARS had received just more than 3.5 million returns. This year's figures represents a 13.8% increase in the number of returns submitted. Provisional taxpayers still have up until midnight on Tuesday this week to submit their returns by e-filing. The National Institute for Communicable Diseases has advised people who recently traveled to malaria-infested areas, especially Mozambique, to seek medical care should they experience flu-like symptoms. The Institute's Lucille Bloomberg says often people ignore the early signs of malaria and only see a doctor once they are very ill. Mozambique is a popular travel destination for many South Africans over the festive season. Bloomberg says after the festive holiday break, they see an increased number of cases of infectious diseases such as malaria.
Many people have travelled to areas where malaria is common. Mozambique is particularly important because we have so many travellers there, but also in our own country, in some parts of Mpumalanga, Limpopo, a very northern part of KwaZulu-Natal. We just need to be aware. And we have many returning travellers who present with what they think is flu. And in fact, it's very important to look for malaria because some of them do have it and it gets missed.
South Africa has won another honour at the African Union Summit underway in Ethiopia. Last night, former Deputy President Baleka Mbete was unanimously voted onto the panel of eminent persons of the AU. Again this afternoon, South African science professor Marika Lubeskagni was voted the overall winner of the AU's Kwame Nkrumah Scientific Award. A judge reads out the results.
From 12 to 16 December 2011, the jury of the Kwame Nkrumah Scientific Awards of the African Union met at the headquarters of the Commission and proclaimed in the area of life and earth science Professor Mareike Ten Labuschagne of South Africa, agrobiologist, head of the Division of Plant Breeding at Bloemfontein University.